All right. Okay, who else? Can you hear me okay up there? You can hear okay? Fantastic. Look at that brave soul. Everybody wave to the people in this upstairs. Very cool. Come on in. Alrighty. I think we're good. Okay, we're going to get the show under the road. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone that helped set up. Everybody. Hey, how you all doing? All right, so if you guys didn't already know, you've walked into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. No. Australian DeFi Association. So thank you very much for all coming here. Before we get started, I've got to do a few things to... Guys, thank you. Sorry. I never wanted to be a teacher, but you know. First of all, we acknowledge and pay our respect to the traditional custodians of the lands and waters of New South Wales and all Aboriginal elders past, present and emerging. And thank you very much for being here. Housekeeping before we get started. So you obviously saw the drinks there at the back. The exit is where you came in from. If you need to go to the toilet, it is behind the screen. Do not enter from this side, but enter from the left over here. And behind the screen, there are 2 toilets. Okay, so if you guys need, there is an emergency exit as well, but hopefully we don't cause too much of a ruckus that we're going to need that. But that emergency exit is out the back and to the left over there. But hopefully we just go out in an orderly fashion later on. So we'll go to the next slide. We're going to do a little bit of introductions. You can scan the QR code. I'll give like 30 seconds if you guys want to scan that. There's links there. If you're not already in our Discord, you should be. I mean, what are you guys doing? But that's where most of the conversation happens. A lot of regulation talk been going on at the moment because Treasury has a consultation paper due tomorrow and we are submitting a response. The links to what we've been putting up is all in the Discord. Okay, so join the conversation there, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and next slide, please. Thank you, Brian. Everybody, Brian. Yay. Brian. There you go. Unsung hero who's been helping us out for the last 3-4 weeks and has been amazing at it. So thank you very much. So today we're going to go through a few things in terms of like the introductions. We've got some interviews. We've got a special host for that. Kat, where is she? Kat. Hey, there she is. Sorry. It's glary. I can't see. But we're going to do some interviews with some awesome projects. So the way we usually do things is what has happened in the last month, in the last 4 weeks, what have we been up to? What are we seeing in the landscape? What are the new things we're getting to do? We didn't have a studio before. We started in November with 20 people. Then it was 100 in January. And then February we got asked, hey, do you want to use this space? I mean, look at it, like as if you would say no, right? And then we're close to 700 people now. I think 698 by the time I last looked. Woo! Exactly. And we'll do an around the room, so open mic for anyone that wants to talk after these interviews. So that's amazing. Brian, next slide, please. And can you check, are people online hearing okay? Yeah? Okay. So, like I said, nearly 700 members, so congratulations all. And if you come to the meetup but you're not as part of the Discord, you're not being counted there, so please join tonight. I want to see get over that 700. When we get to everybody, Juan, yay! I'm going to do that to all the latecomers. And whoever comes up after that has to do stand-up. So we have been going through some amazing upgrades, which will show you some photos of. Chris and I were in on a Sunday unpacking a whole lot of Amazon boxes because we're going to do some cool podcasts from here. We had an amazing Indigenous NFT event. A lot of footage is coming out from that. Some people in the crowd were able to attend that, so it was amazing. We flew up to Brisbane for that to do some shooting there, and we did an event with Mycelium too. And we've got a bit of media, updated newsletter, some other stuff where we have been in the media. And if people have opinions, thoughts, things about Web3 they want to promote, we're more than keen to actually get your word out there. So if anyone wants to write and put up their opinions or education in the blog, the newsletter, please reach out to us through the Discord and let's get going on that. So let's get into it. Studio upgrades, just click, next. Oh, whoop, go back. We have Chris over there on the left, unpacking boxes with me. I didn't take any photos of myself. Don't know why, but anyway, I'm usually a narcissist like that. But anyway, you can see we had like the test. That was not accidental. So yeah, we've got some really nice equipment. Chris was able to use that for a Digital Village podcast. You guys should check out the Digital Village. They do a lot of talk about fintech, Web3, design, some amazing stuff there. We'll go to the next one, please. And then this is the Canvas the Token event. So first of all, we flew up to Brisbane. Arturo, or Numbers in the chat, he's not here. He's got to go be a family man for some reason. So we did this Canvas the Token event with Alicia Geary, who runs an NFT collection called Probi. They're a market service for Indigenous artists from all around the world. It's not just Australia, right? But she's starting here because she's from here. But you can see here on the first image, we've got two of the artists painting live in the studio, which was amazing, right? And then we had Aboriginal dancers from Spirits of the Red Sand. They've been all over the world, from London, New York, LA, all across Europe, the Middle East as well, doing things in terms of Aboriginal dance, which was amazing. We're very lucky to have had them. We'll go to the next one. We flew to Sydney after that. Oh, go back. There we go. So this was last week. So it was only on Thursday last week where we had Alicia on the left speaking, and then we had 4 Samsung modern NFT TVs, which showcased 4 of the artworks. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll see the posts, but Aus DeFi, DEFI, Aus DeFi is our Twitter handle. The website's defi.org.au, so we're very lucky to have that. I don't know why no one else took that name. So DeFi is still nascent. We're still very early, folks. We'll go to the next one. Not long till I shut up now. So on YouTube, please look up Aus DeFi Association, or even just like Aus DeFi. We've got a few videos up there. We've been doing various things like getting to know the community. Some people in this room have been on that show, and there's many faces that haven't been. There's other faces that are going like, what the heck is that? We talk to the community. We ask them questions about who they are. They don't have to be building any projects, but it's just all walks of life in the Web3 community. And then we always ask the same question at the end, which is, what does community mean to you? So, you know, we find that interesting, and we'll probably do a compilation of those after we've got a few more. We record our meetups. So this is recording right now. So anything you do or say may be held against you. So that was our last one there. You've got Arturo, whose Numbers, he's usually here, but not here today. We do these community interviews. So the last one I did was with Ben Reid and his project called The Dark Horse, and we're going to be talking with him later tonight. The next one, please. And then a bit of a media update. So a couple of things. The newsletter is getting an upgrade. So for those that didn't know, we did the normal run-of-the-mill type newsletter where it was like, okay, let's just see what's been going on in the news. But everyone else does that. That's not special. What is special is that our community is now nearly 700 people, probably 700 after people have joined from today. And I think it's much better for us to get views from the community and what are people working on, whether it is a project, whether you're investing in things, whatever it is, we want to hear about those stories. We've done some more education and opinion pieces. There's been a lot of FUD going on in the market, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, whether it's the AFR having columnists talking about negative things about crypto and talking about them in the wrong way. You know, they're painting everything as like no utility, which is completely wrong. Responding to that is something that we've wanted to do. We'd love to get an opinion piece from the Aus DeFi Association or from contributors here in the AFR, but it's not there yet. What we have been able to do is do some things on opinions on small things, like as part of like a larger article. As you can see here, we were able to get into the AFR. So that's the first time that Australian DeFi Association has been mentioned in a mainstream kind of news thing. We've done podcasts. Woo! Exactly. Thank you. And I want to see more people being able to do that from here, right? Which is why I want to get our opinions promoted, our views on crypto, and you know, the positive news of the market, because everyone's talking negatively and it's just not fair. And then finally, we've had more members like Jordan, who lives in Canberra, and she has been a massive supporter from day one. She was on a podcast called Tapping Into Crypto. So there's quite a few things out there as well. So the next one, and I think we get to the interviews. Alrighty, this is the fun part. Where's my co-host, Kat? Yee-hee! Everybody, Kat!
That's all I got. Hey guys, my name is Kat Dunn. Some of you might know me from Discord as Kat Dunn. I have been tasked with this section because apparently my strength is keeping time, which, given my Filipino roots, has not conventionally been a strength, but I will try. So we have 3 guests with us tonight. We're going to be drawing out their stories. There will be Ben from the Dark Horse, who's coming up now. Then we will have Alex from Katalyst.Earth and Casey from Catheon Gaming. What we're going to be doing is interview structure that is highly unique and unusual. Why, what, and ask. So here we have Ben. A little bit about me for those of you that haven't met me yet. There's probably only a handful of you. I came into Web3 through traditional finance and social finance. I was a corporate lawyer, and for my sins, I moved into funds management. And then for those sins, I moved into humanitarian work and poverty alleviation, specifically microfinance, which I think has got interesting applications when you take it to decentralized finance and the opportunities for us to be able to concentrate, to reduce wealth concentration and power concentration. And I run Aviatrix, which is an impact Web3 firm. But this is actually not about me. It's about these guys here. This is Ben Reid. And Ben, I just wanted to ask you, some of the guys here know who you are, but they haven't had, some of them haven't had the full opportunity to get to know you. So can you tell us a bit about yourself, and importantly, why were you inspired to do this?
Thanks, Kat. There's a lot of sins there in that transition career. So good to see everyone. My name's Ben. Come and say hi afterwards. A bit about myself quickly. Background in technology. Was a computer engineer back in .com 1.0. So the recent crash doesn't feel too unfamiliar. So spent first part of my career in deep technology, moved into some product design roles, a lot of time in bigger end of town. More recently, I've set up a venture studio called Digital Creators, and we focus on deploying startup teams in a box, product managers, designers, engineers, and working with ambitious founders and organizations. Is the official spiel. Been involved in crypto space since 2017. I timed the first crash perfectly, got in about 7 days before Bitcoin went from 20 to 4. So I've been involved from a retail point of view, but in the last 12 months, really decided to get focused on building products and applications in the Web3 world. And I've been fascinated not so much from just the technology layer, but the philosophy of building business, the community side, the culture side. It's just a really interesting fusion, and I'm definitely in that sort of all-in category on it. For the Dark Horse, for me there was a macro part of it that got me excited, which is this notion of people with passion and talent being able to be funded through NFTs. So if you're someone who is a musician or an artist, or in this case a sports star, if you can get 1,000 people that give a shit about you and really, really care about you and would become a super fan, if you can convince them to give you $10 a month or $100 a year, you actually can make full-time income and pursue what you love full-time. And there's a lot of unwritten support around people that have talent, and it's often hard for that unwritten support to get crystallized. Like if Kat's a promising artist, I can't really go up to her and say, "Here's $100 if I could." So there's latent support around people with talent, and NFTs actually provide a really interesting vehicle of crystallizing that, and potentially allowing the NFT to be a proxy for someone's career as it progresses. So for me, that macro view and the instantiation of this 1,000 true fan model was very interesting. From a point of view of Bianca Bustamente, who is on the screen there, she's been racing since she was 4 years of age. Grew up in quite a poor Filipino village. Was racing on dirt tracks and dust tracks and just hustling to make a name for herself. Long story short, father took her to the US, and she's been on this quite incredible ride. She's still only 17. She's just been accepted into the W Series, which is quite a high-profile series. They race every Formula 1 race. They just raced in Miami last weekend, and I resonated with her story and thought, hey, let's see if we can supercharge her career through something like 1,000 True Fan NFT drop. So that's it. And for myself personally, I didn't want to be that person that's just always talking about doing an NFT project. I was like, even though I don't really know 100% what I'm doing, I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to earn money, my own time on the line. It's been hard, hasn't been the most ideal time to be launching a new project, and I've learned a ton about things like community building. But yeah, I don't like being on the sidelines. I like diving in.
Awesome, Ben. It's really awesome to share the macro view that you have in terms of what's really inspiring you to move into this space. In terms of the what, like when this succeeds, what do you hope will be the outcome for the project? And can you tell us a little bit more about, what stage you're at and what to from here?
So we are dropping in 5 days or 6 or something like that. I've lost count of days. I'm in Groundhog Day. June 1st, which I think, it's on there. There you go. Thank you, Mark. It's on the screen. June 1st, which is it next Wednesday? I should know this. I know it very well. Next Wednesday, thank you. Next Wednesday, 12 o'clock. We're going live, so we're committed. We're all in. We're jumping off the cliff now. The drop's happening. A lot of learnings about doing the drop, by the way, so if you want to come and talk to me afterwards, I can share some stories of what we learned. It's very hard to build community. Much respect for the community getting built here. We've just cracked our 1,000 in the Discord as of today. Yeah! Woo! So, you don't want to see the original forecast of like, we're going to have 50,000 and just going to win, be one of those drops. But so it's been really hard, but it's been a really authentic community that we've built. So we're doing the drop. It's not a PFP NFT play. This is an access pass. So what you're buying is effectively front row access to Bianca as she tries to become a leading Formula One driver. And so buying the NFT, of course, codifies you as an early backer of her. It's going to get you front row ticket as she kind of does behind the scenes before the race. She's got a pretty cool network around her. She was hanging out with LeBron James in Miami, and a lot of people want to see her succeed. So if you want to kind of voyeuristically see what it's like to be on that curve up, the NFT buys you that inside access. We're focused on very much on the utility side of it. There is some cool artwork which hopefully we'll be able to pop up there. So we've still got a really cool artist involved in the project. But buying the NFT, you get the content side. There'll be some merch. There'll be some prize pools that happen every race. Over time, we're looking at partnerships with the likes of Rev and other online games. And of course, you have to have the metaverse in there somewhere. So we do have an interesting social experience that we're planning as well. So there's 2,000 NFTs available for public sale. Still trying to apply for the 1,000 true fans, but the idea was if you're a true fan, you're not just going to buy and flip it. So we wanted it so you could buy an NFT, hold that one, and still, if the NFT succeeded, you could trade one and maintain that support. So 2,000 NFTs going available to the public. We've got a whitelist which closes on Monday, maybe it's Tuesday. Again, I should know what it is. And we're actually quite comfortable with the fact that fair few of these NFTs are going to go to a public sale. A lot of NFT projects historically weren't available to people who weren't on the inner circle. And so we don't know where the numbers will land, but there'll be a chunk of NFTs available for anyone to buy. But yeah, very much about the utility, the entertainment, the value, the experience of seeing a potential future Formula One star who's 17 years of age and we believe could really make it.
And final question then, if the people here have been moved and inspired by this prezo, which I have, and want to be part of that 1,000 who hopefully get to go and meet LeBron James with Bianca and yourself, where can they go to find you, learn more about what you're doing outside of this? Because this is just one of the many, many hats that Ben wears. Like, where should they go? How should they find you?
That's a good question. I'm still learning to dox myself properly. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm like you. I have my actual name all over the place. So I am Ben Reid at Twitter. I am on the Aus DeFi Discord called BenFT. NFT, BenFT, very bad. I'm a dad of 3 kids. I'm allowed to pull that sort of stuff. So you can connect with me there. Digital Creators is my venture studios. You can find us as digitalcreators.com.au. And for the drop, it's the darkhorse.xyz. The whitelist sale price is 0.07 Ethereum. Public mint will be 0.15. I'm putting a lot of my own time and money behind it, so obviously I believe in it. But if you want to just go get involved in the Dark Horse, you've got the clear details there. And in terms of connecting with me, I'm also in the real world right now. It's not the metaverse. So you can also come and see me after this. I'm involved in a pretty big project in the agriculture space involving agriculture and DeFi and building a new lending protocol there. So if you're interested in agriculture and want to hear more about that, also come and chat to me. But yeah, wearing a few hats, probably wearing too many, but I'm all in on this hat for now. And very excited to see where we land with the NFT drop. And yeah, that's it. And is there a chance to change the artwork? Maybe, possibly. It's the dark horse, so we want a bit of a dark theme. Get sound? Okay. We might try again with sound. It's dramatic. It's Game of Thrones-esque. He had one job. No, just kidding. Coming soon. Not the light horse, the dark horse. Come and join the dark horse. No. We got this.
Give it up for Ben, guys. Thank you so much. And oh, hang on. Sorry, this is the first time I've done this. Does anybody have any questions for Ben? We can probably take two. You're going to be your runner. Come on. You know you want to talk. Anybody online? Are we...
I interview... Actually, if anyone is online, we'll read it out. Is there any questions online? Nothing yet? Okay, that's cool. They're shy. That's fine. Ben, Kat asked you about the inspiration and stuff like that, but you've got a bit of a sports background. I mean, what other sports do you feel like would really work well with this, or is it just open to all? Or are there sports that you think you'd be targeting without... I'm asking you to give stuff away without giving stuff away? I don't know.
I think it very much suits individual sports. We're backing, so I think team sports is a bit of a harder proposition. I've always thought MMA, for example, great match for something like this, particularly where there's a compelling entertainment product off the back of it. So for the dark horse, even if the NFT doesn't succeed, which of course it will, you might get 50, 100 hours of entertainment just by being involved in the motorsport for the year, and that's sort of worth the price of the NFT alone. So individual sports, so we've looked at MMA, we've looked at motorsport, anything with cult following, so you can think your surfings and your mountain bikings and things like that as well. In the case of motorsport, it's a very expensive sport. It costs you about $1.5 million a year to compete, even in early stage series. So I think athletes where it's really expensive to have that ability to compete with people who are better funded, will look at this sort of a model. But yeah, individual sports, cult following, exciting, I think are a really good fit. And we've got a list of about 15 sports that we think are ideal. What motorsport is probably number one, because it's got that futuristic technology, and just the capital requirements mean that an NFT drop like this really does help launch an athlete.
Run.
Cheers. Sorry, I'll go over here. It's a nice pillar, but I'd love to see you. What are you guys doing to actively scout new talent, and what is the criteria for the people you'll be choosing to work with?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we're actually partnering with Bianca's talent agency called Craft Bamboo on this drop, and they've been thinking through this question as well. I think a first thing is, do you have an audience already that we could mobilise that is an interesting audience? So Bianca's got around about 25,000 people on Instagram and a total reach of about 50,000. So you're having some existing audience to tap into is really important. I think being at that right pivotal point of your career, so you haven't yet made it, but you aren't too early as well. So there's for most sports, there's probably a critical window around the age of 14 to 19. Which is quite important. Are you pretty good at creating content? Because part of what people are buying into is access to you being able to see you compete. You don't have to be like a complete natural in front of the camera, but do you like content? Do you naturally create it? Do you have a bit of history around doing that? And then I think the other sort of slightly intangible here is there a story about your career that people are going to resonate with? So I haven't done an amazing job of selling Bianca's story, but it's an incredible story. Like literally 4 years of age, coming from pretty much no luxury, she had no backing, no sponsorship, and she's just through her own hustle and grind, determination, and through her support network got to where she is. So is there a story that we think people would really just want to be a part of? Because it's not just about backing someone and potentially getting a rise in value of NFT or an entertainment product. It's you could be part of their overall journey. But there are a lot of athletes that fit in that category, and in most sports like motorsports, surfing, skateboarding, you name it, there's probably 10 per year that would come through that probably fit that profile. So it's still a relatively big pool when you look across all the sports.
Is the NFT access pass like a one-off thing, or is it like perpetual, like forever?
Committing to a forever set of rewards is its own animal. So at the moment we're saying it's effectively at two seasons of commitment to getting the main rewards. Of course, if the NFT is really succeeding and it's going up in value, and a lot of Bianca's upside, by the way, is in her retaining some NFTs and being able to, grow with the community. So she's actually incentivized to keep that engagement going. But sort of optimizing for 2 seasons initially, and you generally will know within 2 or 3 years whether she's made it. I mean, the NFT, it's an Ethereum-based NFT. It lives on blockchain. It's not going anywhere. And by buying the NFT, you'll also, one of the rewards is getting front row seat if Bianca does like a collectible drop or a commemorative drop. But at this stage, it's not, the commitment to the community is not that you get, Bianca forever. But we're sort of saying 2 seasons. By then, you're probably going to know. And if she's succeeding, she's going to be so incentivized to keep that engagement up that it should happen naturally.
Thanks heaps, Ben. Everybody give it up for Ben. And if you've got any other questions, you can see him IRL out the back for a drink. And can I have Alex from Katalyst.Earth? There he is. Can we have a clap for Alex, guys? Yeah. Let's warm it up. Okay. Hey, Alex. Lovely to see you again. I met you for the very first time for about 5 minutes the other day. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you inspired in refi? Can you tell us that story?
Yes, of course. So Mitch is my partner, co-founder. We met on Antler. I see familiar faces from Antler as well here. Antler is a VC, early stage VC, and we met on the incubator basically. And we ran plenty of ideas. What can we do? It was all about climate, energy, sustainability, and we played with these different ideas and eventually ended up with bringing more carbon sinks to the market. Every morning when I wake up, I ask myself, why is there not enough carbon sinks on the market? This is a question I wake up with. I'm kidding. I'm not good with jokes. So yeah, it's a big thing. So one thing is to take existing trees and just put them on chain. It doesn't help anyone. It's just monetizing, right? It's just putting money from one pocket to another. And we want to bring more trees. We want to bring more machinery to sequester carbon, to capture carbon from the atmosphere. We want to plant mangroves, kelp. We want to sponsor projects that really do good to humanity. And on the way, we want to monetize and incentivize everyone who's participating. Sorry for jumping straight into this. I probably should have told you about ourselves a bit, myself. Can you ask me?
Alex, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Thank you, Kat. So I'm originally from Israel, technical background, engineer, and then entrepreneur, then met Mitch and forgot about entrepreneurship, and now I'm an engineer again. So I'm basically building the blockchain part of our business. We are launching an NFT. Sorry, Ben, but it is a PFP. And the purpose here is basically giving everyone who wants to be part of this community some sort of a signaling mechanism to others. Here I am doing the right thing. And by doing the right thing is basically supporting some sort of refi fund that the money will go into. And once we have enough, we will start investing in projects, like I mentioned before in the previous part. Mitch is a commercial guy. He spent most of his career in energy trading, commodities, overseas, mostly Europe and Asia. And he came back to Australia last year actually, and he wants to do something meaningful. That's how we met on Antler. And I think this project is the definition of something meaningful. Whether it's going to succeed with NFT and the market currently, it depends, but we're definitely hitting targets. We have a list of targets that we need to hit. Part of it is the community. We're building the community at the moment, and yes.
So regenerative finance, super important. We need to get more money into decarbonisation and stimulating more biodiversity. How are we going to do that, and what is Katalyst.Earth doing that's different to some of the other players in the market like KlimaDAO, Eden and others?
Great question. We're not competing with KlimaDAO. There is no point. KlimaDAO is our partner actually. We partnered with them a couple of weeks ago, meaning that KlimaDAO and the like, they need high quality carbon offsets on the market. So they need high quality carbon, period, because their purpose, if you know KlimaDAO, they want the polluters to do the right thing, which is stop polluting or fix their operations to pollute less at least, right? So by bringing the price of carbon up, they're actually making those polluters to do the right thing. We are not positioned to bring more cheap carbon offsets to the market and sell them to BHP and all the other players. We are strategically positioned to invest in technology that no one invests in because it's not financially incentivizing enough, or it doesn't provide this quick return on investment, right? We want to do the right thing, and that's the difference between Katalyst.Earth and many other projects who just take carbon and put it on chain, for example. Did I answer your question?
So essentially you're dealing with the supply, not demand side. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot it. We are focused on supply. But it's also a demand in a way, I'll explain. So the supply side is our main business. But without the demand side, so without people like you, like me, we wake up every morning, we hear the news, we see the news, we hear about the climate change and the problems. Everyone is whinging about it all day long, right? What can you do about it? So in our vision, what you can do with it or about it is take your money, whether it's on crypto or in your bank account, and just put it on something meaningful. Doesn't have to be Katalyst.Earth. It can be any other project that goes and does something with carbon, captures it, sequesters it, does something positive about climate. And that's what we are trying to do from the supply side. So, from the demand side. So we want you to have the opportunity to do something positive. We are real people. We're not hiding behind nicks and different tricks. And it's not a rug pull. We're creating a real community with real people, with real, I would say, ambassadors in this field. And stay tuned. Our community now is about 200 people on Discord. We just started. But we are aiming to hit 50,000. Yeah. Soon, next month. Kidding. But yeah, we're getting there.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to give you a chance, both people on the Discord and here, to ask you a couple of questions after this, Alex. But if there are people who want to ask you something or find out more about you, where can they go? What's the next step? And where can they find you and Katalyst.Earth?
Great question. Here. So this barcode here is if you want to sign up to a newsletter, it's not a spam. If you're not interested in climate or refi, then it's probably not for you. It's not for everyone. If you are interested in being informed what's the next new thing in this business, and Mitch, my co-founder, is very busy in educating everyone in this field. So we kind of playing with two sides of the market, right? The blockchain or the crypto side and the climate people. So, and they normally know a lot of things in the separate industries, but we want to bring them together in Katalyst kind of intersection. And so, yeah, this is the link to, the bucket is the link to our newsletter, and from there you will be able to join our Discord and our Twitter and our webpage and everything else.
Thanks, mate. Well, we've got him here. Are there any questions for Alex? Chris, Brian, on the Discord, is there anything there that... Not yet? How about in the room? Okay, up the back, Nick Bishop.
Short stroll. Nick Bishop, everybody.
You! What kind of parallel technology applications do you see with what you're doing? So by that I mean, you know, say drones to monitor the project, say, you know, different ways to verify or evolve the NFTs as those trees grow and more carbon sequestered. So if you put your kind of, you know, longer term lenses on, what kind of other parallel technology things do you see? Thank you.
There's a delay as the satellite message travels around the Earth.
It's actually faster, right? Thanks, Nick. Thanks for the question. It's a very good one. So my background is real technology. When I say real, is more hardware, satellites, drones, all that, but from the military side. So what we want to bring into this market is actually a lot of the things, if you're familiar with how projects, how forestry, for example, goes on chain, or trees or carbon that trees sequester go on chain, it's very manual. So it's someone assesses your land through using different samples of the land and measuring the size of the stem and different, you know, mechanical and physical manual work. And it doesn't have to be this way. So it's very old-fashioned, I would say, obsolete way to do things. We want to do something different, and I think I mentioned on the slide proprietary MRV, or we want to do more automated, drone-based and technology-based solutions to actually measure and sample the assets, and then speed the entire process up, and making actually, if you own a small patch of land with, let's say, 100 trees, 200 trees, you can still monetize it. You should monetize it. You should not, you know, log these trees and use the land for different purpose if the tree is already there. And nowadays it's impossible for you, because the size of your forest should be 40 acres and higher to get it done. And that's where we want to play as well. If all goes well, next year, this phase 2 of our business, we will introduce this technology.
Thanks, Alex. Any other questions, guys? Up there, layer 2. Down there?
Yep. Found him. We found it. Here we go.
Hi. So in terms of, you know, have you had any traction speaking to government entities and regulators on getting the NFTs recognized as real carbon offsets, so it changes the market from typical consumers to businesses, and being able to sell them as carbon offsets from a strategic perspective? They're traceable. You can see if they've been utilized, if they've not. And, you know, it opens up an entirely new realm. Is that something you've explored, and has there been significant barriers from governance to prohibit you to do that?
Government question.
Is there someone from the government here? Lawyers, I know there is a lawyer. Alex, you got my back? Can I speak freely? Yeah. Yeah, government questions are tricky. As you all know, there is no legislation still in this specific segment of the market. Yes, we are looking into it. We just had a couple of conversations with people about this specific need. We won't incentivize anyone. We will not release any monetary incentives before we have the FSL sorted and everything, properly fixed. That's why this kicks in only in phase 2 of our business, which is next year. First year is building the community, bringing as many people as we can, creating the fund, making everything very transparent. You'll able to see everything, every movement of any fund because it's on chain. And next year, once we're ready with the financial stuff, and people like Alex here, Alex, I'm giving you a free PR here on your brand. I'm kidding. And once we have lawyers and the commercial people in line, we'll start doing this. Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure we'll ever have the lawyers in line, but on that note, this is a wonderful time to... do we have on there? Oh, okay, sure.
Chris is going to read it out, or someone.
This is my debut. Alex, do you have... this is from Samuel Matthews. Do you have any need for a data scientist or analysts for your project at this point? He says, I work in marine conservation and I'm looking for work with some climate-focused Web3 projects.
Love it. Smart man. Very good question.
Yes, flick me a message on Discord and we'll talk. Thank you. As I mentioned, we want to start with kelp. It will be, again, next year because it's a bit more trickier. We already have a guy who is a marine biologist who is looking into it, but we also looking for others. So yeah, we are.
Awesome. Good work, community, connecting people, Aus DeFi. Guys, give it up for Alex from Katalyst.Earth and seemingly other Alex from a law firm to be advised. We have one more person, that's Casey, coming up from Catheon Gaming. Guys, give it up for Casey. Lucky last. Pardon? Oh, yeah, yes, please. Just one. Thank you. Hello. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Casey, and what has inspired you to get into this space?
Absolutely. So yeah, my name's Casey. My background is I've spent 7 years at EY doing technology and transformation for large clients. Wonderful start, but when I heard about Catheon, it just sort of blew my mind. So Catheon itself is a play-to-earn gaming studio. So we started in September 2021 with our flagship game, Soul Chicks. We completed our Mint 1, Mint 2 of the NFTs and our fundraise for the token by December. That was the stage that I joined the company. We've since gone on to have another game that we've self-developed called Soul Stars, which is the first ever sing-to-earn game. So this is a K-pop, it's a K-pop focused game. We've got a K-pop virtual idol who releases her own, she released her own K-pop songs. She's got NFTs, so you can actually own outfits of her and in the future own parts of her music. And we've since gone on to become a gaming studio where we partner with traditional gaming companies and we convert their games from traditional games to play-to-earn games and put them on chain. So from a personal perspective, the reason I joined the company is I just think it's a super, super exciting space. And the mission of Catheon is to make play-to-earn games more than just earning games. And I think if anyone's played play-to-earn games, we're sort of in that really early stages where the focus is on earn, whereas where we want to be is the focus to be on play. We want to make really fun games that people can engage in, but also get the benefit of Web3, which is the earning mechanism, the transferability of assets mechanism. So that at a very high level is us.
Thank you. So you are revolutionizing the way we play, live, and earn, which is very cool. How are you doing that? How is Catheon Gaming different from, say, other gaming studios or platforms? And how are you going to go about shifting that focus from earn to something more sustainable?
Absolutely. So we're a little bit different than every other gaming studio because we do every element of the conversion from traditional gaming to play-to-earn gaming. So to take it from a traditional game to a play-to-earn game, there's obviously the blockchain integration. There's a completely different realm of marketing. So you'll find traditional games don't have a presence on Discord, Telegram, whereas from a play-to-earn gaming perspective, it's super important. There's NFT design, there's working with launch pads, there's the tokenomics, which is a huge issue in itself. How do you make games have longevity? How do you design a game to work from a play-to-earn perspective? Then you need to do the fundraising from the IDO, you need partnerships with venture capital funds, you need partnerships with launch pads. There's a menagerie of things that you need to do, and we do everything from end to end. So that's really our big point of difference. We've also currently got 20 games that we're working with. We've announced about 5 of those, so I'll touch on 2 shortly. But yeah, so we're actually, I think we've now got more games signed than any other play-to-earn publisher globally, which is super exciting. So we're really excited to sort of be at the forefront of this space, and the way that we make sure that we're focusing on the play side of the play-to-earn model is we evaluate a huge number of games. In the pipeline currently, we've got 108 games that we're evaluating. From those 108, we'll probably look to partner with maybe 10 to 15 of the absolute top quality, and of that, we'll probably complete, 8 to 10 of those as converted. So, we are reviewing a vast number of games, but we are only selecting the absolute top quality. And 2 of the games that I'll touch on, from a really exciting perspective, is Angry Malls, which will be our first game that comes out from a full play-to-earn game. So the NFTs have just launched. We're just in the stages of finalising the fundraising, and the game will launch. I know you're looking for the slide. I don't think there's a slide specifically on the game, so I'm just going to talk. This is just background context. The game will launch next month, and it's like Angry Birds, but PvP. So you're playing against someone, you build your own fort, and you knock it down. It's a really exciting new twist on a traditional game model that we know works. And then our second game that I'll mention is Soul Stars, which I spoke about previously. So really new and exciting model. It's a sing-to-earn game. So, taps into that karaoke market. It also has a produce-to-earn element. So you're like a Guitar Hero where you've got like a rhythm game. So it's got 2 games within the one. And then Yuna, who is our virtual idol, she releases her own music. She's released, I think, 3 songs at this point. And they're all going to be games they're all going to be songs within the game. She does concerts in the metaverse. So really building out not just a gaming model, but building out across the metaverse and really expanding to deliver across the entirety of Web3, I suppose.
So that's how you're going to be with lots of different components revolutionizing the play-to-earn space. But I was really curious about that last slide that we accidentally touched on. Can you tell us the how of that and what this is about?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose this is really touching on the view of entertainment as a whole. So, sorry, I need to be able to actually have a look what I'm talking about. Entertainment, I think this is really just showing how gaming is such a large proportion of entertainment services globally. What we've seen over the last few years is that actually gaming is experiencing a far higher growth than the rest of the market. Now, in saying that doesn't stop us wanting to penetrate other elements of the market. Particularly when you look at music, there we've clearly got our eyes on that side of the business as well. We also have a partnership business that we're working with artists, film studios, and other elements that we're actually looking to tap into the other side of the market as well, being the sort of TV and home entertainment. But it's really just showing the size of the market globally is huge, and it's a really exciting space to be, and we're really looking forward to taking play to earn gaming, which is in its real infancy. It's probably about where free games were in 2010. When free games came out, no one will play those. They're not very good. They're very low quality. There's too many adverts. Whereas now, every game that you download is free and everything's in-app purchases. So that model was transformed over the last 10 years to a point where Fortnite and Call of Duty are free games that you can download on your phone for free, and then it's the sort of in-play model. We think we're in that stage of sort of 2010 early free gaming in play to earn. So we think we're really at the start of it, and it's just going to be huge amounts of growth and development in the market from here. So that's sort of what this is showing.
Awesome, Alex. Now, before we have some questions for you, which is the last, actually going to be wrapping up the formal side of this meetup, tell us what's next. How can people, and I think there could be a contact slide, like bear with me, but where can people find you if they're keen to learn more, and what are your handles, and what are you doing next?
Absolutely. So you can follow all of our games individually on Discord. We've got CatheonGaming.com, has a list of all of our projects, all of our games. We'll be announcing quite a few new games soon. There's a few probably significant announcements that will be coming out soon. So we're across Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow Catheon itself. That will be the more broad announcements, or each individual game. Otherwise, please feel free to contact any members of the team. So I'm Casey Barr. You can contact me on LinkedIn. You can find my email. I think it's somewhere on the website. We really want to connect with our community. We have a huge community globally of over 1 million people globally across all the games. We'd love you to become a part of our community. And I'm based in Sydney, so if anyone watching or here is also in Sydney, please just reach out. I'd love to go for a coffee, catch up, hear more about projects going on in this space.
Awesome, Casey. I'm sure that people would love to have a drink with you afterwards as well. We can catch him IRL in just a few moments. Anybody online or off? Hey, Leo, and then Laya, and then Marco.
Okay, and anyone else not starting with a letter L?
Hey man, what do you think is the way to onboard traditional gamers into the Web3 blockchain GameFi space? A lot of people still have, negative mindset mentality against this sort of stuff. What do you think is like a really good way to convince them to step in, dip their toes in, and really try it out?
Hang on 1 second, message traveling.
Awesome. So that's a great question, and I gather you've asked that because it's not a secret that a couple of games get massive FUD when they announce this kind of conversion. So there's a few ways that we handle that. The first is these games are free to play. They are only play to earn once you buy the NFT and you want to play to earn. We do not force you to buy the NFT to play the game. They are games first with a play to earn element. So if someone wants to come and play, you can download Angry Malls right now. Today, it's on the App Store, Google Play Store. It's just a game. We will add a play-to-earn element to it, so we don't want there to be a transition or a difficulty for people to join. Secondly, we'll be releasing our Catheon Gaming Center, which is going to be like a Steam for play-to-earn gaming, where you can jump into your games centrally, all of your games in one space. There's no requirement to connect your wallets to it, so anyone can jump on. There's no barriers to entry for traditional gamers. If a traditional gamer decides, hey, I want to buy an NFT, I want to start exploring this market, the most daunting thing, and I'm sure you've all experienced it, is I'm going to get a wallet, I'm going to try and buy funds, put it onto the wallet for the first time. It's daunting for a first-time experience, so we're building fiat on-ramps, so you can do that all through the platform using credit card details and a traditional onboarding method in the same way that you would with any other game. The difference is in the back end, what's actually happening is we're automating the creation of a wallet and somewhere to hold your NFTs and your tokens. And generally, we want to educate people on the space because, I think Mark mentioned earlier, there's a lot of bad press, and what we're doing isn't trying to monetize games in a vindictive or nasty way. What we're doing is creating an environment where you can buy NFTs, become part of a game, earn money from a game, and then instead of a traditional game where you've put $100 into buying a new skin or a new gun, and then if you want to play a new game, that money's gone. In Web3 gaming and play-to-earn gaming, you own those assets, so you can sell them and put that into a new game. So anytime you've invested capital into a game, it's not lost. It's just an investment that you can transfer between games, which is why, as a gaming studio, we're focused on not just having one game, but giving you that transferability.
Awesome, Alex. And no, Leah said that you were next, but there's a few people on Discord, guys, because the ones in the room will have a chance to talk to Casey in the room. I was going to just draw out some questions online if there are some. Oh, it was your oh, right. I feel wildly misled. Leah.
From wildly misled to Leah.
Hi. My question is, with the NFTs and the interest in them rising, can you talk a little bit about the dynamic of, are you penetrating that market through people buying NFTs and then entering the gaming space? How does that work? Have you seen sort of that side of the funnel?
Sure. So NFTs, every game that we convert has NFTs. So yes, we're in the space. We're very familiar with building a community, running building the sort of hype engine behind the NFTs, but also maintaining that. So SoulChicks is a great example. Our community on Discord is 250,000 strong. I think the last most expensive mint we did was 3 Sol. I think the floor price is now 6. So we're very focused on making sure that the NFTs have utility from a gaming perspective, but also that the artwork's really exciting. So you'll see that across all of our games. We're not static in our NFTs. So our SoulChicks NFTs, the last ones that we minted were in December. Since then, we've given owners a chance to convert them from the chicks that they minted to 3D NFTs, so upgrading both the visual perspective and the utility they can get from those. We will be creating an exchange on the Catheon Gaming Center for all NFTs, so all of our holders can exchange NFTs between all the different products that we have. And from a general market sense, all of our games so far are on Solana. Someone actually approached me about this before. We are chain agnostic, but it just so happens that all of our games so far have been on Solana. And that's really exciting. If you look at the NFT market recently, Solana for the first time has been the leading chain in NFT transactions and volume. Solana Summit. Whoop, whoop. So we see that as a really, we will keep our finger on the pulse. We will make sure that what we are doing isn't just, the right thing for one project, but ongoing. We want to make sure that every one of our users is getting the best experience, is paying, low fees, the environmental impact. All of these things are being considered as we go through the market.
Thanks, Casey. Guys, for the spirit of equity, we'll have Marco. I think there was somebody in layer 2 and then Chris. And I have been given strict instructions by Captain DeFi to honor the networking time. So if there are burning questions, unless I missed you earlier on, we will have that order of events.
All right, Marco. Let's go.
Hey man, what's up? I'm a co-founder of a guild, Crypto Gaming United, and I'm the community builder. My question to you is this, right? How do you educate and engage your community? Because community is important, right? How do you engage them, especially at a time when the market has dipped, so that they stay in your community instead of, being scared and just leaving because the tokenomics and the tokens all gone down, right?
Great question.
Okay, if anyone else has got difficult questions, wait until we're off camera. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. So we're probably in a slightly different position to you because our first play to earn game is going to go live fully next month. So from a tokenomics perspective and making sure our community are engaged from an earning perspective, we're not probably quite at the stage that you are, because if there's a dip in the market, our community aren't feeling that at the moment because they're not actively earning yet. So, you know, there is a probably slight difference in what my answer will be versus what you were anticipating. However, what we do to make sure that our community remain engaged. So when I joined, we were 20 people with maybe 60 people across the community. We're now 100, just over 100 full-time staff, and we've got over 150 community members. Those community members are global. They are across Telegram, Discord. We've got a number of also community members across every social media channel as well. They are constantly monitoring every conversation in all of our Telegram and Discords. We're constantly running AMAs. We give our community opportunities to win prizes through competitions. We give them a chance to have their say in, you know, both in AMAs and on all the Discord chats. We want everyone in our community to have a voice, and we actually scout a lot of talent for our project that have moved to full-time staff from our community. So we keep our community engaged through an amazing community team that we already have. But we also, you know, we want to let our community know that we value them so much because they will make or break our business. That's why our partnerships with guilds I think we've got about 30 partnerships to date with guilds. They're so critical for us, and to make sure that we're not only growing that community, but we're, you know, we're not just building a community and then not staying in touch. We are constantly on our community, and that is a real strategic priority for us. And you know, our community are our users, our members. They're everything to us. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything to engage.
Sweet. Thank you, Casey. Was there somebody up there, or I'm going to give layer 2 a chance. No, down here.
Come on screen. Come on. Yay. Audience question on screen. This is awesome.
Yes. Cool. How you doing, mate? How you going? Well, I had like 2 questions, so I'm going to just try to pick which the most important one is. How do you structure the royalty situation for the music involved in all of your games for the purchaser, the creator, and the owner? I make music and work in a metaverse gaming thing as well, so we're kind of trying to tackle that. So I'd be interested in your opinions on that.
Okay. No, you can. No, stay. Do you want to sit down? No, you don't. Stand here awkwardly. I'll stand up so you're not. I feel. Okay, so from a music royalty perspective, not a concern on most of our games. It's not been something that's come up on Soul Chicks, Angry Malls. It's just not an issue that we've tackled. Now, Soul Stars is a completely different thing because that is a music-based game. So we have a strategic partner in Soul Stars called Humap, who are the producers. You know, they produce songs for BTS, Blackpink, you know, all those guys. They own the songs and license them to Soul Stars at the moment. What we will look to do in the future is potentially split that ownership through NFTs. At the moment, that is not done. We don't know how we're going to do that at this point in time because we are finalising the fundraising in the next 2 weeks for Soul Stars, which means we're still in the build phase for the game. So those decisions are probably future strategic decisions, but I would love to have a conversation offline and see how we can explore that if you'd like to. Cool.
Stick around. No, well, you might get a second bite of the cherry after Chris.
So behind the scenes questions. How do we get you on camera though? No, come on, you got to come around here. Yeah, everybody, Chris, this does not happen. Zero of this goes online without this man here.
Honestly, my question kind of got answered before. Oh, yes, here we go. I just wanted to know how you're doing today. No. Honestly, particularly with NFTs, music, imagery, artwork, the price and value lives and dies by time. And I guess like people who want it, right? In gaming, the same kind of thing happens. You mentioned before that NFTs, when you have them in the platform there, you can have them in different platforms or different games, right? How do you create these NFTs that allow people to want to engage in multiple games and utilize them across the different games?
It does, yep. Okay, so there's probably two elements to that answer. The first is there is a clear distinction. Every game has its own unique NFT. So it's not one NFT that can be used across games. However, when we say, there's that interoperability, what we mean is you can exchange an NFT and use that value to invest in other games. So what we are not, and I'll caveat this with the second part of my answer, what we are not trying to do generally is create one NFT that has value across every game. We are, and the reason for that is if we did that, the NFTs would lose the uniqueness for each game. So if you look at Soul Stars, for example, our NFTs are Yuna, our virtual idol, who is a Korean Korean K-pop idol, versus our next game, which is Angry Malls, which is it could be a pig wearing a wig who is going to throw a hammer at someone else. So trying to make those interoperable is, we're not going to try and do that because you're going to dilute the value of one of the two of those projects. So really, what we want to focus on is making sure it's easy for our users to say, okay, I've bought Yuna 6 months ago, played the game, enjoy it. Now I want to play my second game, and we've created a platform that's going to very easily let them go, okay, I'll exchange those, and now I can jump straight into the second game. Now, a second answer to that is one of our strategies. There are certain games, and I can't say too much, but there are certain games where we might be looking at the idea of building out exactly that, which is one NFT that has more than one utility. So hypothetically, there might be a game that starts off in one genre and has multiple genres where you're utilizing the same coin and NFT across multiple realms to build up the utility of said NFT and coin. And in terms of the longevity, the games aren't just one release and go. They will be constantly updated. There'll be new elements to the game. There'll be tournaments. There's seasons in the tournaments. There's so if you come halfway through the second season, then there's a new season where everyone starts at zero. So that you're not, if you come in too late, it's not done. So that's how we create longevity.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Hey, one more question, and then we're. So someone here? Who was first? Who was first? You were first. Okay. People were pointing this way. I thought you were pointing.
Hey, I was just gonna quickly ask, Catheon Gaming, are you guys, how do you choose what games you want to work on, and is there a cost? Can someone pay you guys to build a game for them, or is that how it works? Or?
Yep, great question. Our first two games, Soul Chicks and Soul Stars, we are building. We do not plan to go back to that model unless we found something extraordinary. Generally now the model is to partner with existing games and convert them to play to earn games. And there's a few reasons behind that, and happy to chat after. In terms of how do we do that, what we're looking for is two things. One, is the quality great? Is it a game that our testers love to play? They really enjoy it. It's addictive. It's not a game that you're going to pick up, play for 2 hours and put down. We don't want those kind of games. So that's the first test. The second is there a way that we can make this play to earn? Is there an in-game economy? Is there an earning mechanism? Is there, does it work from a play to earn perspective? And then obviously the final thing is, does a studio want to partner with us? Because we partner with them. We're not buying companies at this stage. We're partnering with studios. So do they want to do that?
Awesome. Last question. Last question. Then we're wrapping up. I'll do a quick little wrap up, and we're networking. I wanted more networking. Anyway.
If some bad guys make a gambling platform where it is possible to gamble with your NFT, especially for kids, what will you do? Well, if some bad guys create a gambling platform where it is possible to gamble with your NFTs, what will you do?
So do you think it's possible that people can take those NFTs and then use them for nefarious reasons? Steam had this problem for people online because you couldn't hear. Yeah. Sorry for all the difficult questions. This is awesome, by the way.
I probably need a little bit more context as to what happened with Steam, because I don't know the ins and outs of what happened with Steam to be able to comment to the fullest extent. In terms of I don't know, taking advantage of NFTs and making some kind of gambling system. At the moment, we don't have any gambling games, so gambling's not part of our remit currently. If we ever did that, there would be a strict KYC policy. In terms of if someone built something that allowed gambling around NFTs, that would be targeted at more broader than Catheon Gaming. That would be an NFT play across all NFTs. I think the question there would be how does the market stop a product like that coming in and destroying value? I don't see why that's specific to gaming, but I probably need more context on the Steam thing. Yeah, I agree. Parents of there's always the parents of the kids, and ironically, you're the second person to ask me a question around, what about children earning money, and how do you see that tonight? So I think you can't earn on the games unless you own an NFT. If a child has access to set up a wallet, put funds into it, and buy an NFT, similarly, that is not a problem with that's not a gaming specific problem. They can do that with any NFT that was mentioned tonight. So yes, it's something that we're aware of, because most of our games at the moment are mobile. They go through KYC through Google Play and the App Store. We've got controls in place from a Catheon Gaming Center. There's a KYC element to it. You're never going to know the full profile of the people that are buying NFTs, but that's not a problem with. That's a general market question that I don't know the full extent of the answer to. So I hope that helps.
Casey, if I could step in there. And by the way, guys, this has been an awesome town hall, so I really do appreciate it, but wait. And so I'm actually, I, coming from the impact space, I don't have much visibility around gaming, but to your point in terms of play to earn, what I do know and what I have seen, the limited things that I've seen, there are criticisms to this model, especially the sustainability, but the moral conundrum that I have is that I have seen play to earn transform people's lives in developing countries. So something like the Philippines, for example, and I know Mikey, who was here earlier, has a guild that was doing quite well, and one of the key focuses that they had in the play to earn space was really the innovation around how do you give people access to unconventional salaries and incomes. Play to earn has actually provided that as a weird mechanism. I know that understood that there are opportunities for people to forex their usual salary in a province or in an area where they don't have access to this, to any kind of conventional work. So I think at the nascent stage of play to earn gaming, and I know this is now a opinion piece, there are pros and cons that are being ironed out, including the sustainability, and in the early stage of any startup industry, you're going to see that. Not that I'm wildly like advocating for, anything that is unsustainable, but I can see the, value in it as it's being experimented for, some good. So if I could temper the conversation around that. Anyway, I am really grateful for everyone getting quite engaged at the, what have you started, man? Thanks so much, you guys. I know that Captain DeFi has got a few final announcements, but I do want to say thank you so much to all of our presenters tonight. Casey here from Catheon Gaming, you can see him IRL in just a moment. Same with Alex at Katalyst.Earth, who's in the middle row, and Ben Reid from the Dark Horse. Can we give it up for all of our interviewees, guys?
And can we give it up for Kat for being an awesome MC, right? Now, to just round out, and I know that we can go, gaming is a very hot topic, and it's funny because like the gaming space is where a lot of the NFT hate has come from. Like, put your hands up if you've seen an NFT hate video in the last 6 months. Was it line goes up? Probably, right? But anyway, there's a lot of conversation that needs to go on. I saw we're over 700 now. We're 702 people. So woo! Thank you so much. We're on our way to 1,000. There's a big something coming when we hit 1,000. More on that in the Discord. You got to join the Discord, defi.org.au. If you're watching the video, you're going to get the links. If you're not watching the video, well, we're going to hammer down the links. But defi.org.au, there is a Discord in there. We do a lot of conversations. That's where the 700 plus are. I just wanted to thank everyone that is here. This would not be a community without every single one of you. I'm keen to see the next lot of you coming up here and being here, talking about your projects, interviewing other people. I know that we started this. It's only been a short period. We've only been around since November, a very small group. And, in February, we got this studio and look at where we are now. I know in DeFi years, things move very, very fast. There's going to be a lot more podcasts and talking about some of the difficult questions. It's not just getting to know the community, but we're going to ask questions about gaming like Alex had and Sam had before and others. So before we wrap up, thank you to everyone that's online. Everyone, clap for everyone that's online. Thank you so much for joining. This is all recorded. There's going to be a lot of links in the show notes and stuff. But for now, Captain DeFi, Aus DeFi Association, make sure you sign up, check out the links. Thank you so much for joining. Cheers.